Hey, people, what's up?
What's up, people? Happy Monday. And it is Married to Medicine Monday, Auntie.
Married to Medicine. Listen, y'all, it's the holidays, and we're going to ask you once again for forgiveness, kindness, grace, and mercy.
Bear with your fellow brother and his sister, and okay, in Christ. We are doing the best that we can. The holidays is here. The people are grieving. We got stuff going on. We got to do what we got to do. I'm a little under the weather, so please excuse my raspy voice. And if I sniffle a little bit, I'm sorry. But we are here. We are in the building. And we are here to talk about what? Married to Medicine, season 11, episodes 1 and 2. And oh my goodness, Auntie, one thing
But before you go into that, though, Roaire, we will finish off Tia's show.
Yes.
Okay? Tia, who is estranged from her family, not because she said it, but because I said it.
Oh, no, she's definitely estranged from the family. Because did you see the pictures with Tamara? Tamara had her mama and her daddy at the Thanksgiving dinner, and Taj. And the mama and daddy divorced. Whew. I said, not the divorced parents coming together for the holidays. Yes, for the divorced parents coming together for the holidays. But, we going to pray for Tia. Shout out to...
She on the prayer list. She on the prayer list. You know how they say in church, they have the announcement, they be like, so-and-so, we got to put shout out to people on the prayer list.
We're going to have to do like Aretha Franklin and say a little prayer for you.
Yes, we are. Okay. And we will be recapping Potomac tomorrow. We'll catch up however many episodes we need to catch up. Like we said, be kind to us. Okay. But right now we got to get into Married to Medicine. And we are streaming on both channels. Please support us because, Roaire and I come together and we collaborate for y'all. Okay. So please, when we are doing this, hit the like button on both our channels. Got both our channels running. Show us both some love and support. We need y'all, okay? We need y'all. We need to get it in the algorithm. So please share, like, and comment. Help us out. That's all we ask. Help us out.
And subscribe if you're not a subscriber, period.
Come on now, period.
Auntie, one thing that really, stands out to me with these shows is, they drop the trailers every season and they give us these beautiful trailers like everything is going to be good. And then the season comes and it just be a flop. But Married to Medicine, in the consistent 11 seasons that they have had, we have had a consistent good show. We've had a consistent cast and they give it what's supposed to be given. Episode 1, the Whitnik. Oh my God. Episode 2, Quad's birthday party. We got to get into it. So like you said, make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels and your notification bell is on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. Well, Auntie, I'm ready when you're ready.
Let's get into this first episode, okay? Who's coming to the Whitnik? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we are at Married to Medicine, season 11, episode 1. This show is called Who's Coming? Guess Who's Coming to the Whitnik? Okay, so we open up. First of all, it was nice to get a little montage of everybody. We're catching up with everybody. Phaedra and Aiden. Oh my God, Diva! Like Aiden is getting ready to go to high school. That is wow. Like, do you believe that? We've been watching Aiden since literally he was born. So that's a beautiful thing. Everybody is still together. That's wonderful. We haven't lost any cast members. It does look like we have gained an old cast member, which is Contessa. And so it's nice to have her back. So we start off with Dr. Simone and Cecil. We are, celebrating their 35th 35th, okay, 35th graduation reunion. Simone, Dr. Simone went to Spelman, Cecil went to Morehouse, and so they want to come together and bring all of their friends together, their former friends, their new friends, and have a celebration called the Whitnik. Okay, Simone is planning on bringing everybody that she's in touch with. Now, according to what Simone is saying, she's pretty much in touch with everyone except for Quad still. Now we know last season, Quad was kind of kicked out of the group. She was kicked out of the Napa trip. She was deemed to give everybody an apology at the reunion, and those things did happen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're kind of going to bounce back and forth because they kind of intertwined us in different scenes. So we're going to bounce back and forth. We moved to Dr. Heavenly and Quad. Dr. Heavenly is showing up to Quad's house. Okay. So Quad is back as a full cast member this season. Welcome back, Miss Quad. Miss Quad, she got it. Okay. Dr. Heavenly is bringing Quad some flowers. And so Heavenly drops the vase as she is going in per Heavenly style. It breaks the vase in the driveway. She said, it's nice to have Quad back again. Her and Quad come in, give hugs and kisses, all of that stuff. Quad is talking to Heavenly, and she said that, a lot of the friendships with the ladies have been a roller coaster, up and down, left and right, side to side. She don't know where she stands with anybody except for Heavenly. Nobody has reached out to her except for Heavenly, and so she's still trying to kind of get back into the group with the ladies. Everybody wanted Quad to apologize last year. Quad gave those apologies out, but Quad feels that she is still owed apologies from the ladies for the things that they did to her, okay? Simone and Quad were in a good place, according to Simone, when they left New York last year after reunion. And so apparently some tweets went out and some comments went out. And so it changed Quad's opinion yet again about Simone and how she feels. Cecil asked, what's the difference between Heavenly and Quad? Heavenly, she talks about you, she talks about me, she talks about everybody, but you can still get along with Heavenly. Why can't you get along with Quad? And so, Simone said the difference between Heavenly and Quad is, at least I know that I can have a sit-down conversation with Heavenly. She'll apologize, whether it's real or not. At least she'll apologize, and we can move forward and continue our relationship. With Quad, you never know what Quad you're going to get on that day. You'll get a good Quad, or you'll get a bad Quad, or no Quad at all. Quad feels that Simone needs to be held accountable for the things that she did last year during the season and at the reunion. And Heavenly agrees that Simone owes Quad an apology. So those were those first two scenes. What did you have about those?
Quad is Quad. I don't mind Quad being back, but my issue is with Quad. She's not married to medicine anymore, but I get it. They need to have a show, so they're going to always have Quad on to try to keep Quad in some way, shape, or form because they need that Quad drama. But it is what it is with Quad, and I think with Simone, apologizing to Quad, I do believe she owes her apology in terms of bringing up the tragedy that happened at her home. Yes. I do think that was low. That was even low for Simone. I was shocked that Simone went that low, but I do believe an apology is required for that. Uh-huh. Yeah, I will stand on that. Yes, there's apology. In terms of Phaedra and her kids, you gotta love Phaedra. Phaedra know how to give reality TV. Phaedra is definitely a good mom. Yes. And Aiden is just adorable. I can't believe high school because he is on the shorter side. But welcome to the short people club because I'm in it. I'm in it. But he's adorable, and I just, I really appreciate the scene with the kids. I love the kids. I really do.
Yes. We love the kids. Shout out to the kids. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Do you Simone said that the reason she brought up that situation is because she was trying to make a point that she is there to support Quad whenever Quad needs support for real. Do you feel that Simone was justified in still going as far as she did to prove that point?
Not at all.
Okay.
This is a child that died
Yeah.
in the pool. It was tragic. And I don't care how bad you need money, there's some things that you don't do. Like you know how you just have these little things within yourself. Like I have these little things where I'm like, I would never go that low.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never go that low. So there's some things where I just said, no matter what the person does to me, I would never go that low. And I do feel like production pushed her. But I would have had to tell production, like, y'all going too low. A little girl is gone. And I'm not doing that. So if y'all need somebody to do that, it's going to have to be somebody else, but it's not going to be me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have did it.
I agree. I
Mhm.
think I follow the motto that we have kind of always followed on these shows. Children are off limits. We don't talk about children. We don't bring up children. I do think it was very a low blow for Simone to have done that. And I agree. She definitely owes Quad an apology. And Quad's family as well, especially to the parents of the child. You definitely owe them an apology. You brought them into a situation that they are not a part of. They are not on this TV. They're not on this camera. They're not in the media. And so for you to have brought that up, it was just so insensitive to the family and to Quad, especially happening at her house. I can't imagine that she already probably feels guilty because of, how everything happened. So it was definitely way too far. So I totally agree with you on that as well. So we are moving into Dr.G and Letitia. Dr.G and Letitia, they are newly married now. This is their second season as full-time castmates. Sweet Tea does not know how to swim, okay? Letitia does not know how to swim. So they are working on that. They're headed over to Phaedra's house. Aiden, knows how to swim. Phaedra was a swim coach or a lifeguard in college. And so she said, come on over, come on down in the backyard. Let's get in this pool. Let me teach you a little something, okay? Now, as we all know or may not know, Letitia was diagnosed with endometriosis on last year. And so she did share with us at the reunion last year that she has had surgery to get everything cleaned up and cleared out. So they are still currently working on having a baby. Let's see. Phaedra, let's see, I said that already.
Phaedra, G talk.
Yes, Phaedra and Sweet Tea and Aiden, they get in the pool, they're teaching her. So I thought Aiden did a good job. Go Aiden, he did that. And he is so respectful. As we said earlier, just Phaedra is an amazing mom. If we take all the other stuff outside of Phaedra's craziness, I could definitely say mom of the year for sure. She loves those boys. The boys love her. And she has truly done a good job in taking care of them in everything that has happened in their lives. So shout out to Phaedra for that. So after, Aiden and Phaedra had taught Sweet Tea a little bit, Phaedra decides to get out the pool and go grab some snacks, as only a great host does. So she comes back out of her Versace robe and she brings the snacks, and her and G start having a conversation. Dr. G is really struggling with Dr. Heavily and Dr. Damon. He's really struggling with the behavior that Heavily has been displaying towards him and his new wife on the internet. And it's really bothering him the wrong way. He really wants to try to, resolve this issue. Now, Phaedra said that Heavily prides herself on being a mean girl. And, nobody ever wants to check Phaedra or say anything, or check Heavily or say anything. And then when someone does try to say something to Heavily, she has a temper tantrum and falls out and everything. So it just never works out, so they just continue to let Heavily, do what she does. Phaedra said that there are 561 Black men in the medical school field today, and that we got to protect our Black men in the medical field. And one thing I will say about Married to Medicine is that they are very good at giving us statistics about our people. And so that is one thing that I really enjoy about this. Phaedra said, no one holds Heavily accountable, and so we're going to have to see going forward how this situation works out with Sweet Tea, Heavily, Dr. Damon, and Dr. Greg. Anything on that?
Ooh, first of all, don't Phaedra know how to do it all? Law school, mortician,
She can
a
clean, she
cook.
can swim, she can do everything. She a
Girl,
mama.
she was a lifeguard. I mean, what has this woman not done?
Not done.
Listen, well, yeah, we gotta step up our game.
I mean, but Phaedra told us on Real Housewives, she is a woman of many talents. She told us that. And she has held to that. She's held to that standard.
She held to it. Okay. I'm behind. I need to go learn some more skills and stuff. Phaedra is doing the darn thing.
Yes.
But like you said, I think her kid's so respectful. I thought it was sweet of her to bring Sweet Tea over and try to teach Sweet Tea how to swim. And I will say this, I feel like Dr.G, Raheem. See, Raheem started. Raheem, we ain't got time for you to start tonight.
Not a masterful liar.
We ain't got time for you to start tonight, Raheem. Don't do that. We ain't got time tonight. So I like the way she brought her over to teach her how to swim. The son is just such respectful, children. And I thought that was I really love that scene. Now, when Phaedra went to talk to Dr. G, it was a good conversation. I like the conversation a lot. And I do understand where Dr. G is coming from. We all know that Dr. Heavenly goes way too far. And Dr. Heavenly, like what is her darn name? Like Kenya Moore on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah. Dr. Heavenly time is gonna run up.
Yeah.
It's gonna meet her match, and it's not gonna be a good thing. And Sweet Tea might just be the catalyst to Dr. Heavenly's match. Damon is all in his feelings over the fact that Dr. G did not say that, no, you're not a cheater, you're a good guy. He is really in his bag of feelings. Here's the thing, Roaire, if you know that you're not a cheater and you good and grown, What is Dr. Damon? He's in his 50s. You good and grown, and you worried about some other man not vouching that you a good person. It just don't make sense to me.
The math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing. But I thought it was all really great scenes, but that's what stand out for me. I really did like the conversation between Dr. G and Phaedra. Yes, Denise is saying it too. I really think that Dr. G met his good match in Sweet Tea. Yes. And she looked like she trimmed down, right? Sweet Tea got smaller.
Both of them look really good. Both of them.
I thought so. Yeah, they both trimmed down. So I think they're a very cute couple. I'm loving them. And, we're going to see how this season goes because we already know there's something going to pop off. But I did like those scenes. And I thought it was nice that Phaedra is entertaining them and doing a scene with them because everybody is being so shady already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to how the rest of this season is going to go for Sweet Tea or Greg because it seems like that there's a drift between the two of them and the rest of the cast, if you may. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go as well. But so moving on to the next scene. Thank you, Boo. Moving on to the next scene, we have Simone and Cecil have arrived to Heavenly and Dr. Damon's house for a little hibachi dinner, a little double date is what I said, okay?
I loved it.
Wasn't it beautiful? Shout out. So, as we all know, Dr. Simone and Dr. Heavenly have had a struggle throughout these past couple of years, okay? First it was, Simone or Dr. Heavenly was talking about Simone and her husband. Then Dr. Heavenly stole her best friend. And then it was just all of this stuff. So it's nice to see that Dr. Heavenly and Simone have kind of come back together and on good terms. So Simone and Heavenly are finally back in a good place. Heavenly and Damon are hosting hibachi downstairs in their basement. As they go down, Cecil brings the crown for the Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly like her crown and her drinks, okay? So Cecil showed up right, so got the party started off perfectly. A little bit after dinner was served, Cecil brings up, Dr. Heavenly and Letitia's relationship and how's things going, have they kind of moved forward? Are they still in the same place? What's going on? Everyone knows if you mess with Dr. Heavenly's husband, it's over. And so, according to Dr. Heavenly, Letitia has said some disparaging things about her husband and his practice. And so Heavenly was not having it. Heavenly said Letitia comes for came for Heavenly business on social media as well, and it just sent her over the edge. Heavenly feels that Simone needs to apologize to Quad, for the incident with the child situation, as well as the Napa Valley trip last year for being kicked out of the Napa Valley trip. Quad, sorry. Cecil and Quad, get together outside of everyone else, so that Cecil can invite Quad to the Whitmore party. And that is a big secret that is being held from everybody. So I'm interested to see why is Damon and Heavily taking this Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg situation so seriously? I just feel like they've been in this show for a very long time now. They are very accomplished. They're grown. They don't need this extra foolishness. Why are we doing all of this? What are your thoughts on that, Auntie?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So first of all, let me say this: the hibachi thing. I live in a townhouse. My desire one day, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna have a backyard like that, so I can have me a little hibachi situation with my family and friends. Okay, I loved it. I love the whole hibachi thing and coming to your house because I love hibachi. Period. When they make the food in front of you and all that, I love it. I thought that was just a great idea. And those are the things that I like about the Real Housewives shows. When you have these ideas like that and they throw events like that, I like that. Now the conversation was very interesting, right? Because they're unwilling to apologize to Sweet Tea and Dr.G, but then Dr. Heavenly wants to tell Simone that she feels like she owes Quad an apology. So you want to tell me who I need to apologize to? Mm-hmm. You ain't got nothing really for Sweet Tea and Dr. G. And when you mess around with someone's business, it should have stayed between the wives. And I agree with Dr. G on that. If the wives are fighting, let the wives fight. But Dr. Heavenly brought Dr. G in it. And now we'll show that little piece later, how she wanted Simone, Cecil, don't catch this fire because your wife is running her mouth. So Dr. Heavenly doesn't know how to keep it between the woman. And then that's why the men, because usually on Married to Medicine, the men had never gotten into the woman's fights. Mm-hmm. Because of Dr. Heavenly now, the men are fighting because of Dr. Heavenly. I'm not a huge Dr. Heavenly fan, like at all. I think she goes too low. I think she's petty. And I think that she is too grown to be this low and this gutter and this petty. So I've never been a Dr. Heavenly's fan, but I can be neutral. But in this, I just think the way that Dr. Heavenly treats Sweet Tea is an all-time low for her. All-time low.
I agree. I love me some Dr. Heavenly, but I have become a little disappointed in her continuous behavior of constantly harping on Sweet Tea. As I have been watching her YouTubes here lately, I see that she's tried to stop talking about her. Okay. And so that is a very positive thing. So Auntie Dr. Heavenly, continue to just not say her name, just leave her alone and we can move forward. And I just feel like that's a friendship that'll never work out. So we need to let that go and move on. Let me ask you this. How do we feel about Quad, being mad but acting like everything is okay? Because that was one thing that Quad, Simone talked about. 1 second she'll be good and then the next minute she'll be mad and you won't even know that she's upset.
Well, I think Quad tried to humble herself when she thought she was losing her job. Ooh. So, and then once Quad found out that they needed her pretty much and they was going to bring her back, they gave her superpower back and she's back to being the Quad that she always been. So Quad only humbled herself last season because she didn't want to lose that job. And remember, let's not forget that she went on Carlos King, pretty much crying, whining, and about the fact that how they did her dirty and she wanted her job back. And now that she got her job back, she got a superpower on her back, because we'll talk about it later when it comes to her party and how she was messy to Sweet Tea. So Quad is Quad, and Quad will never change.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I do definitely feel that, like we said earlier, Simone owes her that apology for that specific situation. Personally, I do not feel like Napa Valley deserves an apology. Quad has showed us her butt to kiss several times. And so you got to get a taste of your own medicine. And as you said, we see still in this season, she's still, smelling herself, if you may. So we'll see how that goes on. Like you said in episode 2, Quad was on her Giselle last season. She's back.
And that is a fact.
That's 100% facts.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
That is facts. So now we are moving into the Whitnik party. As we said, this is the 35th college reunion for Cecil and Simone. So Cecil and Simone are giving the true essence of Freaknik. They have their 40s, they got their little setup, for to pick up your 40s. They got the phone booths to make your little fake phone calls and to take pictures. They got the lights, cameras, and actions. They had the cars. It was the bomb.com. I really was like, okay, this is a nice little party. I never experienced Freaknik. I didn't get the opportunity to watch the Freaknik little thing that they did on Hulu. I don't know if you've ever been. Have you ever been before?
No.
Okay. So
no. Listen, I've never been to Freaknik, and I've never been to a freak off. No, sir. Not the Diva. Not the Diva.
Oh, you better clear your name, okay? Of all consciousness.
No, I have not.
Well, that's that on that. Period.
Okay,
so,
period.
Phaedra, Toya, and so we have Contessa back again. So Phaedra and Toya and Contessa are getting ready together. Phaedra said that she's never been to Freaknik before, because she said she was a Christian woman and that was way too much for her taste. She don't do all of that. Jackie and Heavenly are getting ready together. They're picking out their hair, their outfits. Heavenly killed me with this Baps wig. I was just on the floor. I was like, girl, you just do the most. But okay. Jackie was not able to go to Freaknik because she was always working and doing her own little thing. But I imagine that Freaknik is not something Jackie would do anyway, so didn't expect her to ever go. Heavily, Jackie, Damon, and Curtis show up together in their red drop top. Okay, so they show up to the party. Let's see. Heavily said that she went to Freaknik, but Damon was not able to go. Damon said, he was always either had a test going on or something always came up that he was never able to go. And Heavily said, well, had he gone, they would probably have kids a little earlier than what they did. But we all know Heavily got pregnant before marriage, so same difference. Simone and Cecil show up in their hydraulic car, bouncing in. I was like, okay, we see y'all getting it in. Okay. I hated Heavenly's wig. I just was like, what are we doing? Toya, Eugene, and Phaedra show up together. Toya and Eugene said that they were too young for Freaknik. By the time that was kind of coming around for them, they were going into high school or getting ready to go to college, so it was kind of phasing out. Let's see, Dr.G and Letitia, Contessa, and Scott all come in together, which I thought was, the grouping of how people came in was very interesting to me. I am not sure what relationship Contessa and Sweet Tea have, but I guess we'll find that out a little bit more as we go into the season. No one seemed to be happy about Sweet Tea and Contessa and their arrival. Everybody kind of had a tooted up face. I think people were a little bit shocked about their arrival as well, so that was interesting. Damon and Greg had an opportunity to have a little talk, okay? Greg is still upset about the way Heavenly talks about him. You know, she has said some disparaging things about his business. And so Greg feels that it's Dr. Damon's responsibility to get Heavenly's behavior in check, you know, and to say something.
Whoa, whoa.
A last minute unexpected guest pops up. As Simone is talking, Miss Quad pops in the building. And this is my thing. This is exactly what I be talking about. This is your first season back as a full castmate, and you still showing up to events at the end, pretty much. Like, why come? What are we doing? I believe we all know Miss Quad. Miss Quad, she got it. She got it. It's no reason for you to make these grand entrances showing up late. It's disrespectful, really. It's really disrespectful. Let's see. Heavily checks on Simone to make sure she's okay because Simone had no clue that Quad was coming to this event. As we said, Cecil invited Quad to this event. What is this relationship between Cecil and Quad? I don't know, but that's a very interesting situation.
Well, you know, Cecil, I'm gonna let you finish, but Cecil, he's a little ditzy. Like, he don't know where to draw the line between a relationship with a female and being that he's married. You would think he learned his lesson. What was that chick name that almost
her name? I can't think of it.
Almost destroyed their marriage.
That's for the comment section, people. Y'all know.
Yeah. Almost destroyed in marriage, and Cecil still doesn't get it. Cecil just doesn't get it. I don't think he mean no harm, and Cecil definitely doesn't mean Tammy. Come on, Zeta. Tammy, you would think he got it from Tammy. No, but he's still out here carrying on like a fool. Me with Quad and say, Quad, you come to the party. But I don't think it has anything to do with him trying to be disrespectful to his marriage. Cecil just doesn't know where to draw the line. Damn, Cecil, damn. But go ahead.
Doing too much. Just doing too much. Okay. Yes. So let's see. Heavily checks on Simone to make sure she's okay. Heavily Jackie, they have apologized to Quad. And so Simone was a little, you know, dethroned on why they felt so quick to apologize to Quad when they felt the same way that Simone did last year when it came to Quad, her behavior, how she treated the group, you know, and kind of being excluded from the group. The ladies are trying to push Simone and Quad to talk, but I just don't think that tonight was the night to do that, especially with Simone drinking, and we know what Simone gets to drinking, she get loud and things go left. Dr. Scott decided to get up and perform his little song, and that was what it was. Damon was staring at Quad's friend quite a few times, and Dr. Heavily had to let him know, look at her again. Try it. Keep on trying it, okay? Letitia and Contessa are having a conversation, you know, just kind of catching up. Contessa asks Letitia, was she able to speak with everybody? She says she spoke to everybody except for the dentist. Letitia finds her way over to Damon and begins to break down the issues that she's having with Heavily in the comments that she's making. Now, Sweet Tea claims that she never said that Damon cheated on Heavily. She just repeated what Heavily told her. And apparently Heavily told her that when Mariah came out saying that she has receipts or Damon cheating, that Heavily believed it for a second. And that is what she shared with Letitia, allegedly. Damon was irritated, and so Greg kind of stepped into the conversation. And Greg said, you know, he just wants to kind of work things out. He really wants Damon to check Heavily, especially about talking about his business practices. You know, it's one thing for you to come for me personally. Don't trust the doctor. You know, Greg wants Damon to check Heavily from a business standpoint. You know, it's one thing for us to talk about each other or our wives or our personal stuff, but then once we start getting our businesses involved, you know, and saying lies and things of that nature, it bothered Greg. Well, Heavily ended up coming over and interjecting in the conversation and, you know, told Sweet Tea, I don't know why you talking to my man without me. This don't have nothing to do with my man. If you want to talk about it, you need to bring your mama up in here so that we can talk to her about it. And the scene kind of just ended after that. Damon walked away. Letitia, it just was a mess. Your thoughts on that final scene?
The Whitnik, I thought it was a cute name, and I think they did a very good job of replicating that time period. Dr. Heavenly is the Giselle of Married to Medicine in terms of she just never knows how to really get the dress code correct, right? Just always off with the dress code. And listen, for these people with all of this nipping and tucking, so Dr. Heavenly got her little tushy lift and took some fat out the tummy, and I'm just thinking to myself, for real though, but whatever. Okay. Yeah. So that with that. So Quad, of course, Quad is going to show up late, and that Sisu invited her, so I said, hey. And but again, let's make no, Sisu invited her, right? So she wouldn't be left out. But what kills me is when we're going to find out next scene who she doesn't invite to her birthday party, which I thought was pretty messy, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Contessa being back, I never thought she should have had to leave, to be honest with you. If Dr. Heavenly could stay until the last day of when they close out Married to Medicine, then Dr. Contessa should be able to also, because I mean, I can deal with her a little bit more than I could deal with Dr. Heavenly, but that's just me, right? So her being back, it's not like she added a whole bunch to it or took away from it. It was just her being there, and it is what it is. She mad tiny though.
Oh my God, she's lost way too much weight, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's mad tiny, and she is in shape. I know she works out a lot, but she mad tiny.
Well, she was in that bodybuilding, wasn't she?
She was. So yeah, but she's in shape, but good in mind. She tiny. And then Dr. Scott rapping or whatever he did. That was interesting. His little rap and what he did at the Whitnik. Okay. Now with Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea and Dr.G, everybody's 10 toes down in their corner. Nobody's budging. Sweet Tea ain't budging. Dr.G ain't budging. The Heavenly's not budging, and Dr. Damon's not budging. But I will say this: Dr. Damon, I feel in this particular incident, out of pocket, out of line, and he does need to check Heavenly.
Yeah.
When you want to go, like I said, the guys usually are never in this, but now because of Heavenly, they are. And when you want to talk about somebody's business, she gets mad if somebody talks about her business, but you're going to talk about this man's business. I think it's low.
Unacceptable.
Low. And I really think that she just has an issue with Sweet Tea. I don't know if she's looking at Sweet Tea and she's missing her youth. I don't know what it is, but she got real issues with Sweet Tea. That's in my opinion.
I think based off of what I've kind of been listening to and hearing, I really think that she brought, and it's just my opinion, I think she brought Sweet Tea on to kind of be her backup, if you may, or partner in crime. Yep. And that is not how it turned out. And I think that she thought she was going to kind of be able to run Sweet Tea, and she can't do that. Sweet Tea is giving her a run for her money. That's exactly what she's doing. She's giving her a run for her money. And, we're going to see how far she going to run with it, because, I mean, Sweet Tea ain't backing down. She said, baby, because if you keep talking about me, I'm going to serve you a cease and desist. I said, oh, you better teach her about the cease and desist.
Woo! Yes, she did. Johnny, you see, what Dr. Heavenly is underestimated, because for the most part, everybody that's been on the show, they all been in kind of the same age bracket, right? Sort of, kind of. Honey, You got a young buck. You got Sweet Tea. You ain't going to pump down no young chick. You not.
You got time and energy, okay?
That part. She got time and energy. Okay, and she not stupid. She was like, yeah, she keep playing. She was like, she could keep playing with me if she want to. She gonna get a cease and desist.
A whole cease and desist. So keep on Heavenly. Keep on if you want to. Well, that was episode 1 of Married to Medicine. Guess who's coming to the Whitnik? This was a really good episode for episode 1. Overall, as a beginning season, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to rate it a 8. I thought it was a really nice, good episode. I'm glad that we got our same people back. I'm glad that they renewed Sweet Tea for another contract, and I'm glad that Quad is back as well. Now, how long Quad needs to stay, because technically she's no longer married to medicine, I'm questioning it, but we'll see. What are your final thoughts and opinions on episode 1?
Episode 1 was a good opener. It really was. And you gave it an 8. I'm going to give it a 7.5. Because we got a lot of I got some feel good. I got some good flavor from it. I like that contestants back. They kept Sweet Tea, and you know what? Even though we know in real time that Phaedra has left, I think Phaedra did bring a certain little flavor to the show.
I like to say Quad as only she can do. Yes,
that part. I think her little scenes and her little fit in is exactly what we need. And so we're gonna see how this pans out and how they transition her out. But I do think she gave it a little oomph, because that scene with her teaching Sweet Tea how to swim, it was sweet. It was sweet. It was very cute. And in her sit down, her faces when she talking, Phaedra faces is everything. When she was like, "No, we got to preserve you. You a doctor. Ain't that many." The Phaedra, she's just drama. She said, "Ain't that many of us left, so we got to preserve you and your doctor."
Hold on to you, boo. Okay, look, hold on. Hold on the way.
So I do like her, but I will give it a 7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Perfect. Well, y'all, remember to hit that like button. Make sure you are sharing as we prepare to go into episode 2 of Married to Medicine. Quad gets her groove back, okay? Now, I don't think Quad ever lost her groove, but okay, go you. I meant to say this in the first episode. Quad is still in her house. A lot of the people said she wasn't going to last there, but she's still standing. Go Quad. Okay.
Go Quad. She got that job back. That's why she's still standing. But go ahead.
That job and that man, but okay. So episode 2, we open up with another montage. Phaedra is driving Aiden to school. We see Contessa and her daughter spending a little time together in the kitchen, doing what they do. Cecil and Simone, they have, had their party officially. And so, Cecil's down in the basement doing his doing. So Simone comes on down, and Simone is toe up, okay? Simone's got the bubble guts. She said she just had a little too much fun last night, okay? Cecil apologized to Simone for not telling her about Quad coming to the party. It was definitely a shock for Simone. And, Simone wanted to know what happened and why didn't you tell me? Cecil said that, he is trying to get Simone and Quad back on good terms. He did the same thing with Jackie and Simone, have fallen out, weren't doing too well. And so he's just trying to follow through. Now, personally, I just think he likes Quad a little bit more, because I don't think he put as much as effort in with Jackie and Simone as he does with Quad and Simone. But that's just my opinion. And that made me question a little bit, like, why are you so stuck on? Yeah, but okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I have so like I said, he wants to mend the fence between, Quad and Simone, and hopefully they could get things together. Simone says she's going to do her best to try to work on their relationship. And so she had to excuse herself because she had to go handle her business. Okay. So that was that scene. I'll go ahead and tie in this other scene too. Letitia and Greg, they are going out to eat together, having a little date. And so they're out having dinner. They're talking about, trying to have a baby. And, as I said earlier, she had endometriosis. She had her surgery. And so they said that they are actively trying to have a baby. Letitia's not Letitia's not sure on how to move forward with Heavenly because Heavenly has done so much damage to their relationship. She's just not sure where to pick up from. Damon and Greg still have a shaky friendship as well. Greg set up. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh, that's you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Greg feels, as I said earlier, that Damon needs to check heavily about her behavior and the things that she says and does, especially on the internet. Greg feels that he understands the pop off between Letitia and Heavenly because he kind of had to deal with the pop off as well when he was married to Quad. So, he's still kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to that situation. And like I said, they are still trying to make a baby. And then I'll tie this scene in too. Heavenly and Damon. Damon is back doing his little music gig. Heavenly said, well, did Scott inspire you? Because you ain't been down here in a while. Damon said, no, he didn't inspire me. I just wanted to come and play the little instruments. Scott inspired Damon. It's okay. You can say it.
That part.
Heavenly said that she did not tell Letitia about Damon cheating. She said she never said that. That never came out of her mouth. So she don't know where that came from. Heavenly doesn't understand why Letitia talked about Damon and came to talk to Damon because she knows that you don't talk to her man without her being there. So those were those three scenes. What do you think about those? Cecil and Simone and their day after the Freaknik or Whitnik.
Stay there right so far. And you that hit me one at a time. So I thought that, listen, Simone looked tore up from the floor up. Okay. And you know what I said, but I ain't mad at her for giving us reality from the after party. She was tore the heck up. She ain't had no makeup on. The weave was looking a hot mess, and she said she got bubble guts. And she put that blanket over her. She said she ain't going nowhere today. And then she had to run to the bathroom. I love that scene because I felt like they was keeping it real. But in terms of her and Quad is iffy. And Quad doesn't know how to interact on and now with the cell phones, you don't physically gotta see nobody. Do a group chat with the cast. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, whatever it is.
Right.
So you can at least be like you stayed in touch. And every now and then you see if the girls want to meet up for lunch, especially if it's urgent closer to the time y'all supposed to film again.
Right.
Quad needs to understand and learn how to, you have to get along because this is part of your job. So that is my issue with Quad. And I don't know how her and Simone are going to resolve this situation, but I am rooting for them for the sake of us, because I don't want to hear the whole season, are you going to apologize to Quad? I really don't. Now when we go to the scene with Greg and Letitia, I am team Greg and Sweet Tea. I really am. I thought the little luncheon was cute. I know you can tell that he really loves Sweet Tea. And listen, this is nothing against Quad. I think sometimes there are two people that get together and they just wasn't meant to be. And, it has to end in divorce. It's sad, but it's better y'all end it than try to fight through that thing and spend the rest of your life together in misery, okay? So him and Quad just didn't want Greg like that. I think she was good with Greg when she had no money. I think the minute she woke up and she had 2 dimes in her pocket, she no longer could stand. she
Not rubbing the dimes together, making $1. Okay, she made $1, baby.
That part. So she didn't want him no more. And it's messed up, but it is what it is. And those two went through it as a result of Quad just wasn't into Greg anymore. She used them for what she used them for. And when she was done, she was done. Okay. Yeah. So that's that. But I think now you can tell, you see a different side of Greg. At least I do. I see a totally different side of Greg that I never thought existed when he was with Quad. Sometimes you meet somebody, they bring out the best in you. Sometimes you meet somebody, they bring out the worst in you. I think Sweet Tea is bringing out the better side of Dr. G. When he's sitting in those confessionals, he's making sense. Okay.
He looks happy. Genuine.
genuinely. And also, I'm praying that these two get to have their baby.
Yeah.
I really am.
I hope so.
I hope so. So then we go to the last scene with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon. Dr. Damon, we're never going to see him stand up and show up on Married to Medicine. And that's sad. So the guys, if y'all ever have sent out a memo, if y'all want to send out a memo to all the men in the world, make sure that Damien's email address is at the top of the list. Every now and then, as a man, you got to stand up and put your foot down. I'm not talking in a nasty way. I'm not talking in a way to downgrade your partner or your wife.
You remember when he got heavily together at Simone's house 2 seasons ago? That's what we need Damon to show. We need Damon. We need.
Yeah, when he said enough and he went to the car, pretty much told her to shut up and get in that car.
Get in the car and shut up. Don't say nothing.
Shut up and don't say nothing else. He needs to stand up, show up. But I think this is just my opinion, I think he is bowing down because I think there was some infidelity. I think something happened, and because she forgave him, he going to let her run amok and run loose. Well, you know what? Whether you cheated or not, Dr. Damien, reel it back in. Get the lasso, reel it back in, because she's destroying friendship in the group, and she's destroying your manhood, because you looking foolish by trying to convince us that it's okay that Dr. Heavenly was tweeting on social media like she's a 10-year-old about Dr. Damien, his business and everything else. Grow up.
Grow up. It's Lisa said that Damon knows he wears the dress in the relationship.
Ciao.
Yeah, I like I said, we really need Dr. Damon to come through like he did in that scene, when Heavenly was just going off, because he told Heavenly to shut up and get in the car. And what did Heavenly do? Shut up and got in the car. And she has just gone too far with this Letitia situation, and especially as you said, as for Heavenly to be in her 50s, Letitia's in her 30s, girl,
it's not a good look.
Past her. Leave her alone. Leave her be, and continue doing what you're doing. You got plenty of grown folks to argue with and have beef with. Leave this little girl alone. Stop it. Stop.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's way too much. So those were those scenes. Next up, we are at Dr. Jackie's office. So it looks like Dr. Jackie is still practicing after y'all tried to cancel her last year. Y'all try to get Dr. Jackie canceled, but she said not so. Okay.
She said there's only 2% left.
She said it is only 2.8% of Black female physicians in this position, and she cannot leave. Okay. She can't leave. So, Dr. Jackie has a new patient, Cash Doll. She's a rapper. Her real name is Arkisha. Jackie has seen an increase in her celebrity patients, she says. She's continuing to do her thing. Jackie is, still trying to make us aware about, our women giving birth and health, and, women struggling, in that birthing process of making sure they're delivering healthily for themselves and the baby. And so I still appreciate that she's still riding that horse. We see Vice President Kamala Harris last year talk with Jackie. They kind of gave us a flashback of that. So it's good to see that Dr. Jackie is still doing that. Do you know anything about the mother-in-law stitch?
I don't.
Okay. I was just curious. I never heard it before. So, yeah. Anything on that? Go ahead and speak your true feelings. Tell it like a T.I. is.
Well, you know what? I can't take Dr. Heavenly. The Dr. Jackie, though, continuing to practice. I really do. I like if we get to see the authentic Dr. Jackie. I think Dr. Jackie puts up a lot of pretenses on the TV. I don't know who Jackie is after all of these seasons. We're on season 11.
Yes.
And it's like, can the real Jackie please stand up?
She's faking pretentious. She's faking pretentious.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. So the fact that, you know, Dr. Jackie is in love with Dr. Heavenly, I almost feel like that's who Dr. Jackie is truly behind the scenes. Dr. Jackie, in terms of her business as a OBGYN, I would give Dr. Jackie a 10 plus. Now,
Yes.
she has made some missteps and spoke out the side of her neck, but I think authentically, as an OBGYN, the people trust her, the people love her. She delivers those babies. She cares about the baby. She cares about the female. And she, you know, she cares about her patients. I really do feel that about Dr. Jackie. But Dr. Jackie just always puts up these ears. But my thing is, how you putting up these ears, but your bestie is Dr. Heavenly? It just don't make sense to me.
What the people say, you are who you hang with. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah. So that's what you know, how I feel about that. But Cash Doll, I thought she looked cute in there, pregnant.
Oh, yes. And she just had her baby. The baby's doing well. She looks great. I see her on another show the other day. She's doing really, really good. Everything turned out great. So shout out to Dr. Jackie. You know, one thing I will say, as you said, she really does care about her patients, and she really is trying to do the best she can to protect the wellness and health of our Black women. And I could only do nothing but appreciate that. So thank you, Dr. Jackie, for continuing that. You know, she hasn't let the fame and the fortune get to her to where she feels like, you know, screw y'all or anything like that. So shout out to Dr. Jackie on that reference. So moving into the next scene, Miss Quad is delivering her birthday invitation. So Miss Quad is turning 43. You know, it's been a while since we've had a Quad birthday celebration. You know, Quad knows how to throw a birthday party now. Quad does it up and does it out all the time, okay? So she is having a night in Paris themed birthday party. Quad apologized to everyone last year, as we said in the last episode. And so now she's just trying to get back on good terms with everybody and inviting those who she would like to have for her birthday party. So her first invitation stop was to Dr. Simone's office, okay? The flight attendants come into Dr. Simone's office and they say, on behalf of Quad Air, you're invited to a night in Paris, okay? And so she gets her invitation with her passport and her flight ticket. And so Simone says, well, oh, okay, well, I hate to ask, but where is Miss Quad at? And so they say Miss Quad is outside of the Rolls Royce. So, you know, she said, oh, let me step out here to the Rolls Royce. So, you know, Quad and Simone, they have their little fake kiki ha-ha time, you know, hug and kiss. So, you know, come to my party, I'll be there, blase, blase, blah. The next house is Dr. Contessa. Now Letitia and Contessa are down in Contessa's basement playing pool, having conversation, kind of catching up from the Whitnik party and everything. Letitia is still triggered from heavily running her mouth and doing the whole YouTube thing. Dr. Contessa, you know, gets a ring at the doorbell, and so she says, come on, let's go upstairs. Dr. Contessa goes upstairs, and yet again, the two flight attendants are here. We are here to present you with your ticket for a night in Paris. And so Contessa says, oh my God, this is so cute. She goes outside and greets Quad and says, well, Letitia's here. You want to say hey to Letitia? Oh, baby, well, we got to go now. So I'll see you later. And Quad dismisses herself and go about her business, okay? Now, Contessa thought that everyone was in a good space where we could all be invited to events together and do things together. But obviously, that's not where we are in this group still. So Contessa says, well, girl, you ought to go home so you can get your invitation. And so Letitia says, I ain't going to that party. And so that was the end of that. Now, as Quad was riding in the car, one of the ladies asked her who was that old lady that was with Contessa. And so she said that is my ex-husband's new wife. And so that was, you know, pretty much the end of that scene. So your thoughts on Quad's invitations and, you know, her, you know, talking about Letitia or the lack thereof. Oh, and her and Simone greeting.
I think okay, so I'm gonna need all of these individuals to be original. We already had a scene on other Housewives shows where people went and delivered invites, right? Because I think one time invites was delivered and you're supposed to open the box, it's supposed to be butterflies, and some of the butterflies died and was dead.
This is not the first time Quad has done this. She's done this before.
Yeah, but other people have too, right? So I'm over it. Let's
Over
do
it.
something new, right? And so Quad is being real messy for the position that she was in last year and how she didn't like it. She knew it didn't feel good, but then you come back and you doing the same type of mean girl stuff. So now all of a sudden you don't want you ain't going to invite nobody, your ex-husband's wife who's living in the house that you used to live in, because you're not interested, but you showed up to her bridal shower and you brought her a gift
Uninvited.
uninvited, and you brought her a gift. Make that make sense. And then remember, the gift that she brought her was lingerie. So it was like I was just like, you know what, Quad is being messy. And so just like last year, you had no place in the show, and Phaedra was helping you get in the fit in. You could have let bygones be bygones and invited Letitia to the your party, because if you're over your ex, you're over your ex. You got a whole new man that you've been with for a year, and you sweating the fact that your ex is in the house with, and your house is, don't you love your home, your mega mansion? I mean, this tells you the lies that come out of people's mouth. It's just so stupid. I thought it was real ignorant of her when she dropped off the invitation to Contessa and she couldn't even speak to or acknowledge Sweet Tea. I just thought it was low. I thought it was real low. And then for those people in the car talking about that old lady, they need to stop. First of all, Sweet Tea is beautiful. She does not look old
at all.
And I just thought it was a low blow for Quad. And I'm just like, girl, if this is the only way you can come back, go to Target, Walmart, Starbucks, or something, because this is just not a good look. It's very low. You're supposed to be so happy being single or being with your man in your mansion. Do better. Do better. I thought it was just a low blow. And I would have invited Letitia and let her be the one to say, nah, I don't want to come, or whatever the case may be. But to not invite her for what? What do I care? Like I moved her. My ex-husband has moved on clearly because he's remarried, and I have moved on. They're even though they don't have any children together, thank God, her and Dr. G, you can still, you don't have to hate your ex to your grave. Like it, I don't know. It's just stupid.
Yeah. It was stupid. I thought it was very immature, and especially for Quad to be trying to make a comeback. This is not the way that you should be trying to. You need to come in with open arms, doing everything you can to continue to stay here, especially being that you're not married to medicine.
Hello. That part right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Quad is getting her party together. She's working with the party planner to get everything ready. Let's see. Heavenly and Jackie are getting ready together. Jackie said that if you know anything about Quad, it's going to be over the top. So we got to show up ready and prepared to, be over the top and do what we do. Heavily had fat transplant moved from her stomach to her butt, so now she has had a BBL. Obviously, Damon didn't know nothing about it because Damon was looking at her like, huh? Like, what? Yeah, so she just still doing what she want to do, which, like you said, that makes me further question what you kind of said earlier. Was you cheating on Heavily and she caught you, and now you just out here doing whatever you want to do? Interesting.
You see your wife every day, and you don't know that her butt don't look big and her stomach look flatter. And matter of fact, when she had the procedure done, do you try and tell me there was no bandages, no leakage, no nothing? I mean, I can't with the stupidity. Go ahead.
I was like, okay. So Contessa, Simone, and Toya are getting dressed together. And so Simone went to let Toya in. And so Simone tells us that Contessa was sharing with her about how Quad showed up to the house, and Letitia was there to get her invitation. And, she was shocked that Sweet Tea did not receive an invitation. And so Toya was shocked as well, especially because, as you said earlier, Quad just showed up to, Sweet Tea's bachelorette party last year. Whether Phaedra invited her or not, it was inappropriate for her to show up. And so for now, as she was on the other foot, for you to not do the same, it just didn't make any sense to me. So I was just like, okay, whatever. Toya brought up the fact that, Quad is still mad at Simone from last year in regards to not just the situation with her niece, but the Napa Valley situation, and that she really desires an apology for that. Toya said, y'all brought Sweet Tea y'all brought Quad to her engagement last year. Why should we not invite Sweet Tea? It was just stupid to her. Simone says that Quad and Toya are in a great place, and she wanted to know how they got there. Toya explained that, Quad gave a genuine apology last year. Now, if y'all don't remember, one of the issues between Quad and Toya was that Quad was saying somebody broke into Anita's house is what happened. Mm-hmm. And so Quad was saying that Toya knew something about it. It wasn't Toya, but she knew something about it. And so it really bothered Eugene and Toya. So she gave a genuine apology about it. And so Toya felt she would be kind of a butthole to not accept the apology. She felt it was genuine. And so her and Quad have moved forward in a better place. Simone says that she just can't do the fakeness with Quad. Either they're going to be friends or they not. You're going to be good with me or you not. I'm not going to keep apologizing over and over about the same stuff. Either we going to move on or we not. So we get to Quad's birthday party. Did you have anything for that last scene that you wanted to say?
I'll say this. No, go ahead. Yeah. But wait, Raheem said, but inviting your ex to your birthday party sounds like a peace disturbing action to me. But it's no more peace disturbing than you showing up to someone's bridal shower.
Right.
And then bringing her a gift of lingerie and whatever else gift she gave her. And Sweet Tea, right. And Sweet Tea handled that with grace and mercy.
Yeah.
So if you can come to my bridal shower, surely I can come to your birthday party and wish you a happy birthday.
Hello. Mm-hmm. So we are at Quad's birthday party now. The ladies have showed up. They're giving out shots at the door. Heavenly go take her shot, okay, baby? Dr. Jackie said, I not, and sashayed her way on in. I said, you better go, Dr. Jackie. Do your do. Dr. Jackie, as always, is still looking amazing. I mean, she just looks good head to toe. So go, Dr. Jackie. Simone asked the owner, who put all of this together, who did all of this? Did Miss Quad do this? And said the owner said, oh no, Quad's man did this. And the ladies were in shock, okay? Nobody knew Quad had a man. Nobody's really talked to Quad. Nobody really knows what's going on with Quad, okay? Now, Toya said we done known Quad for 10 plus years, and we only been to her house one time. And we don't get intricate parts of Quad's life. We get bits and pieces of what she wants to share with us, okay? Simone's been saying this about Quad all this time, and she said this is the exact proof that I've been talking about. Quad, she said we're friends, we're good, but then she won't share certain stuff about us. She won't tell us things, or she'll act like we good, then we not good. This is the thing that, Simone says that she's been talking about, and Quad has yet proven her right again. Contessa heavily greet one another. It looks like they're trying to keep it cordial this season, and so I'm appreciative of that. Let's see. Jackie said that everyone desires, to be happy, and so she's glad that, Quad is happy and doing her thing. So go Quad. Phaedra shows up, and so Phaedra asked about, Quad's band. Does anybody know who Quad's band is? Nobody knows who their band is. So everybody's walking around. Are you Quad's band? Are you Quad's band? Are you Quad's band? Nobody has yet to see Quad's band. The ladies go, asking or whatever. Simone said, it's not giving a night in Paris. It's giving a night at strip club adjacent. Okay. Quad wanted to introduce her special friend to everybody once she came out. So she came out, did her little number. She introduces her friend King, or AKA boyfriend, excuse me. And all the ladies, had very nice things to say about King. They said he was cute, he was handsome, the nice little chocolate man. Toya said that she's got a Flintstone kid's vitamin, and everybody was just saying what they had to say about Quad and her new man. King said that they are best friends 24/7. They're together 365. They don't spend no time apart. Toya felt that Quad was wrong for not inviting Letitia. Simone thanked Quad, for inviting her. And Simone thinks that this is a step in the right direction for them to, get a good, consistent friendship going. And hopefully it stays consistent. Anything on that birthday scene?
First of all, yeah, for them to say that Quad know how to throw a party, I didn't see the glamour, the glitz. I didn't see, it was nothing to me. And when you have a party and Dr. Heavenly, now Dr. Jackie could pull stuff together, but when Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie are the best dressed,
ooh,
did you already, okay? Dr. Jackie to me and Dr. Heavenly were the best dressed, okay? It surpassed the birthday girl. She had on that Statue of Liberty looking outfit. It was ridiculous. And she came out doing something, whatever she called herself doing. And then she wants to introduce her boyfriend, King. Okay, she's crying, she carrying on. They spend 300 every day together, 365 days. He threw this party, she crying, whatever. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel no kind of way sideways. I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel like they was in love. I didn't feel the soft and pink, and I really didn't feel like his check paid for that party. I didn't.
He was not giving money to me or Baller at all.
What does King do? Somebody tell us what King does, and maybe I can change my mind. But I wasn't feeling like he, that there was money there and that he was paying for said things, right? But her outfit, the birthday girl outfit, gets a straight F.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it at all.
No, the birthday girl invitations gets an F.
Yeah.
The birthday girl's scenery at the party gets an F. She had a thing that I believe was an epic fail.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then you only invited the ladies. So the guys wasn't invited, right? King worked the web better than Greg. So you only the ladies was invited. And then something. I ain't got no problem with Contessa, but something when she was getting dressed and everything, something's amiss. I can't catch what's going on right now, but something don't seem 100%.
Yeah, it's. I was just like, it's giving. Oh, I was just thinking of a couple, and now it slipped my mind. But it's not giving authentic. It's giving kind of like Phaedra, one of her fake relationships. You brought them on for the camera. You said that y'all been together for a year, but nobody knows about this man. You ain't talked about him. We ain't seen no pictures or nothing. Heavenly said that she talks to Quad pretty much almost every morning. She ain't never heard this man, nothing. And I'm just like, well, who is this man? What does he do?
Oh, man, don't do that right here. He said TJ Stacy.
Oh, my God. Take the wheel, Lord.
Wait. At least King did kiss her. He did kiss her at the party or whatever. But something is not right. There's a missing link. I don't know what the missing link is as just yet. But I do know probably she couldn't come back this season without a man. Because what would have been her storyline?
Well, what is her storyline now? But okay.
Her and King.
Well, we'll see what King brings to the table. Like I said, he looked very young. He doesn't look like he knows too much about, this married to medicine lifestyle. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's
Okay.
see. He has a trucking
Wilson
company.
said he has a trucking company, luxury rental
Daughter.
car business. He has a daughter too. He has a daughter. Okay. Well, you know what? A luxury rental car business. Okay, because I saw the previews for next week, and he gets a car. But Lawson, you help me. He does luxury rentals. I bet you that car that came to her house is a rental. But continue on.
Not rented. So, you know, all of the men come together, you know, and not be renting vehicles out, but okay. All the men come together, you know, they're coming together to have drinks and spend some guy time together. Now, this is one thing that I love about Married to Medicine. I love when the guys come together and spend that, you know, male bonding quality time. It's always a pretty good time. Sweet Tea said to her live, I tried to go back with it. Oh. I'm not surprised.
But that's the tea right there.
But
that's the tea right there. That's the tea right there. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
I could see that.
I could see that. Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly.
At the end of the day, I truly believe that Greg has that coin. He's cheap with it, but Greg got that coin. And I don't see King having the type of money that Quad needs to sustain the lifestyle that she lives, if that makes sense. So we'll see. We definitely go see. I don't believe in Quad though. She don't want that man, but okay. That's what y'all say. So all the men come together. You know, it's an awkward scene with Damon and Greg, of course. You know, Damon and Greg have not seen each other since the Whitnik party, and that did not end too well. The men were not invited to Quad's party, so it gave them an opportunity to connect. You know, Greg said he was lucky to get out the house because Sweet Tea was not invited to the party, so he was lucky that he was able to get out. Greg says that he's not concerned about Quad. He's not worried about Quad. He hopes she's happy and that she's living her best life. Eugene thought it was appropriate for Letitia not to be at Quad's party. You know, I disagree with Eugene. If Quad could pop up and show up, as we said earlier, wherever, why the heck Letitia can't? And especially, you know, Quad was very well wishing of Sweet Tea and Greg last year. Their marriage, she seemed like she was happy for them. So, you know, why not continue, you know, with that same energy? But whatever.
Right.
Damon says that he feels that everyone gets along with heavily. And so all the men looked around in the room and was like, well, Dr. Damon, are you drinking? What's going on? Because Heavenly has had an issue with every man in that room, from Eugene to Scott to Cecil. I mean, everybody. She has got in on every man in that room. And that's what's so interesting to me. You don't want the men to come and attack you, but you're open and willing to attack the men whenever you feel it's necessary to do that. Unacceptable. You know, Damon doesn't feel like it's his position to check heavily, especially when it comes to the females and what they got going on. He did calls out Greg for being sensitive, and wants to know, you know, why you being so sensitive when Heavenly has to do what she got to say. And so Greg says, well, I'm being sensitive because your wife talks about me and then you turn around and say something about me too. And that makes me sensitive because I'm telling you I got an issue with you and your wife disparaging me and my businesses. And so, you know, Dr. David was just like, listen, we all grow. I don't understand what the issue is. I don't get involved in the mess, so you should get involved in the mess. It ain't my job to check my wife, and I'm not going to tell her what to do or who to say it to and all of that. Pretty much, you just need to get over it and move on, is what Dr. David said. Get out your feelings and move on. Cecil said that, you know, we should have went to Quad's party if it was going to be like this, because this is just as much a drama with the ladies as it is, you know, with the men now. Damon doesn't want to be upset with Letitia, but it made him feel some type of way when she made the cheating comments, and Dr. Greg did not back him up when it came to, you know, these so-called rumors about Damon and his infidelity may or may not happening. Damon says that he's good with Greg and he hopes that they can move on. And Greg said, you know,
he's like,
it is what it is, and you know, we'll see how it goes from there forth. So that was the end of that scene. Your thoughts and opinions on that?
Oh, I got lots of thoughts and opinions on that.
Let's get into it.
They give it up to Dr.G. Yeah, let me tell you something. And actually, what is he, like 5 feet tall? How tall is Dr.G? But whatever the case may be, Dr.G stood 10 feet tall up in that meeting with the men. Okay, because he told Dr. Damon, "No, I'm not good." Okay,
pull up
he said,
Laso's comment.
throughout the years, Dr. Damon was always known as the voice. Yes, he was initially. You are correct. Come on, yes. Remind us.
Yes.
Throughout the years, Dr. Damon was always known as the voice of reason and having common sense. Not so much this season. Yeah, Diva, he cheated. Yeah, I really do feel that way.
Yeah.
I really do feel that way. You are correct. You reminded me. He was always the voice of reason. And now he's sitting up there trying to play in our face, sounding and looking like a whole fool, talking about Dr. Heavenly gets along with everybody. All the men was like, huh? What are you feeling okay? I want to say that Eugene asked him, was he feeling okay?
He did. He said, are you all right?
Because Dr. Heavenly does not get along with everybody. That's a whole lie. So you can tell right there that he is just really just looking a whole fool in these streets. And so now let me tell you something. I do believe that Dr. G is this petty. So if we back up to the Whitnik, right? I didn't realize that Dr. Damon has said to Dr. G that you like are not you not taking my patients that I'm referring to you. Well, Dr. G said he booked him busy. So he said so because Dr. Damon mentioned it again. He said, I hate that this is impacting the patients. And he said, well, that's not so. He said, if a patient you send me need more help than I have time for, then I got to send them someplace else. In other words, Dr. G is saying you ain't going to have your wife sitting up here playing me, and me and you are still going to collaborate in business like all is good. It's not good. I'm not good. Your wife is sitting there talking about me and my business, but then you want to send your patients to me. And he's like, nah. He's like, nah, I'm good. So Dr. Damien, he needs to wake up and listen. If a wife or anybody in a relationship decides to stay and their spouse has cheated, then you got to let everything else go from the moment you decide that you still going to stay. I still need to know why Dr. Heavenly had that Similac up in her cabinet last season. We need to know. I still need to know why you lying on Sweet Tea, because I don't believe that Sweet Tea out of the ear made up that Heavenly told her that she believed Mariah and that, you know, she tried to take a frying pan to Dr. Damien's head. She tried to take that frying pan to his head when she found out that that man, in my opinion, was a cheater, pumpkin eater.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to sit there and humble himself and act like Dr. Heavenly is not out of pocket and out of line. And she is.
All the way.
She is. And Dr. G is right. You need to check your wife, because she's going to sit out here and you're going to end up destroying all your relationships, because he's already destroyed a business relationship.
Yeah.
Because of his wife. And he going to tell him, you need to get out your feelings. No, you need to get out your feelings, sir, because you still mad from the reunion, because he sat there and wouldn't say that, oh, you a good person and you would never cheat. Messy. And with them, Ms. Mo Better said, Dr. Damien Heavenly refuses to allow this show to ruin their marriage, and I respect them both for that.
So why are you here?
Okay, so they're not going to let the show ruin their marriage, but they're willing to ruin other people's marriages.
Why are you here?
Life don't work like that. Like that. I cannot hate on you in your marriage and say anything to destroy you and your marriage and think that my marriage is going to go well. Too bad life don't work like that. No. She needs to respect Sweet Tea and Dr.G marriage, if she is into marriages going well. Yeah, but that part, Lawson. But Heavenly will set out to ruin others' marriages. She tried to help put the nail in the coffin between Scott and Contessa.
Yep. Yeah.
She's a mess.
Yeah.
So now it's not that they not refusing to let this. What they are doing is, if they wanted to keep it real because it's reality TV, acknowledge, like others had to already acknowledge on that. So Dr. Jackie had to acknowledge that Kirby, Dr. Simone had to acknowledge that Cecil cheated. Who else do we got in here? So Dr. Heavenly, if Dr. Damon stepped out for a look to the side or the left for a minute, just acknowledge it and move on. But miss us with the BS of y'all this perfect couple and daddy never looked to the left or the right. Daddy be looking
all the time.
And that's why he mad. He's pit bone mad at Dr. G, because Dr. D didn't say, "Oh, you a good person, you would never cheat." We don't know if you cheated, sir.
And that's exactly what he said. I don't know what you do on your private time. I don't.
And just like Dr. Damien is standing by his wife, why doesn't Dr. G have the right to stand by his?
Well,
go ahead.
Whew. This was an interesting episode, especially with this last scene. You know, I never thought that the men would be in this kind of situation where, you know, because of the women that they're having struggles with their relationships. You know, I definitely do believe that Damon needs to check Dr. Heavenly. I think that Damon needs to consider an apology on behalf of both him and Dr. Heavenly, more so Dr. Heavenly. The things that she has said about Sweet Tea, about Sweet Tea's family, about their marriage and their relationship, be it true or not, is totally inappropriate. I think it's very funny that you would be willing to support Jackie and her marriage and Simone and their marriage and staying together, but you don't want to support the marriage of Greg and his new wife. No matter what your relationship is like, we should never be in support of tearing down someone else's marriage. And that is one thing that I have noticed since Greg and Sweet Tea have gotten married, that Heavenly has consistently been on the roller coaster of trying to demonize their marriage into something that it is not, or that we do not think it is, rather. So, you know, hopefully Dr. Damon and Dr. Greg can, you know, get things together from a man's standpoint, and then they can get their wives together, and we can, you know, get all of this foolishness over, because it's just, it's too much. It's stupid. We too grown. You know, marriage is too important. You know, and if anything, Heavenly and Damon should be trying to be an example for Letitia and Greg on what a good marriage looks like. Being that y'all have been married for so long, y'all have 3 beautiful children. You know, y'all can be that example, but it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But that was episode 2 of Married to Medicine. Quad is getting her groove back. What are your final thoughts and opinions on this episode?
You know, it was a good episode because I like the way that Dr. G is not shying away from his feelings and how he felt about Dr. Damon. So Dr. Damon tried to end that last meeting all soft and pink, talking about, you know, I'm good with you, Dr. Greg, whatever. He was like, because Dr. G is not going to be good until Dr. Damien step to his wife and get her in order. Yeah. She out of pocket and she out of line.
And see, I took it as when he said, I'm good on you. I took it as if like he's good on their relationship, in my opinion. That's how I felt that Damon was saying, that he could care less. He's moving on. And, you know, that's how I took it, just because he was just, during that whole conversation, if we really listen back, he was very dismissive of everything that Greg said. You weren't even willing to listen to what Greg had to say. And a lot of the stuff that Greg was saying was true. We have seen on social media and on YouTube how Heavenly will drag Sweet Tea and Greg. So it wasn't like that Greg was lying, you know, he was telling the truth. But, you know, in my opinion, I took it as if Damon was saying, whatever, I'm good either way. I got my wife. So, whatever. That's how I took it. And I
I
don't
get
think
what you're
it's
saying.
gonna be
Yeah. I don't know what to say about it, but I will say again a good episode because a lot of realness happened. And you figure Sweet Tea is probably the youngest female on the show, but seems to have more maturity than a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's pretty sad. And that's pretty sad.
People
Okay.
say out of the mouth for babes. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So
yeah, this was an
They
interesting.
have definitely dragged each other, but I think that Dr. Heavenly started it. And I think that because Letitia had her first season was really, really rough in real time.
Yeah.
She really, really suffered a lot. I mean, they dragged her through the mud.
She wasn't welcome into the group at all. There was no
welcome. And Dr. Heavenly played her because Dr. Heavenly sought her out. Once they found out that Dr. G was getting married, Dr. Heavenly, before the season even began to film, she sought Letitia out. She befriended her. She acted like she was going to welcome her into this show, like with a sisterhood. And the first season, she dragged her for filth through the mud, all for a Bravo paycheck. These people are going to learn when they wake up and they realize how they sold their soul to the devil for a paycheck. They're gonna really wake up and see like, wow, this is what I did. And I say that to say, and I know y'all may think this is the extreme, but similar to that Diddy situation, when you wake up and realize how you sold your soul to the devil for a check, it's going to eat away at you. But if I had to rate the this episode, I'll pump it up to an 8. And I'm pumping it up to an 8 because G stood his ground. And even when the other people there, the other man punked out. Let me say that for you. The other man punked out at that food luncheon and not stood up because they know that Dr. Heavenly is messy.
And especially shame on Cecil because she got into Cecil's butt real bad the first couple of seasons. Really, really bad. So if anybody knows the treatment, is Cecil for sure. And so Cecil should have stood up and been the guy. Especially, I look at Cecil as kind of the leader of the male group, if you may. That was Cecil's, in my opinion, responsibility to kind of check Damon and be like, hey, like, you know how your wife can be. You know, Cecil and him have had issues. They've had to have a come to Jesus meeting. And so Cecil should have been the example to, you know, kind of get the situation ship back on track with the men. But, you know, we'll see going forward. Y'all, let us know what you think about this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. Leave it in the comment section while we're here now, or leave it in the comment section after we are off and when you watch the recap. For me, Diva, I'm going to give it a 7. I was not impressed by Quad's party.
Not at all.
I was not impressed by the invitations.
Not at all.
There was nothing in this episode that stood out major to me.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, other than the last scene, the men, to me, the men was the episode. They set the tone for this episode. And so, you know, I give it a 7. Let's see. K Macho said it was an 8. Vanessa said it was an 8 as well. Those men just kept quiet. They definitely kept quiet. They didn't say anything, and I have a problem with that. And you know, even Eugene has been in situations where he has had to check, I don't want to say check, but speak to Damon about the things that he says, because for a long time as well, Heavenly was dragging Toya and Damon about their finances and how they spend their money and what they do and all of this stuff. And, you know, Dr. Eugene had to, you know, let Damon know, listen, get your wife. Get your wife. Katrina said this is a 7. Emmanuel said it's a 6.5. Ooh, these are some interesting numbers, honey.
Oh, yeah. You know, it in terms of, I think, too, Roaire, reality TV and the way it's going now, they're definitely better than some of the other reality TV shows out there. So that's why I guess their rating is a little bit higher for me than the average or than norm. It's only because they're definitely better than, you know, the other ones that are out there, so to speak. But we're going to see how it goes. I don't mind watching it. And like we said, tomorrow too, we will be recapping for y'all the 2 episodes of Married to Medicine.
Yes. So make sure you stay tuned to both of our channels. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe over to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If you're not a subscriber over there, make sure you turn on your notification bell on all and hit the like button on the videos that you view. As well as over here on Roaire's World. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell on all as well. As we said earlier in the show, we have been recapping Tia Mowry, My Next Act. We are 3 episodes behind. So this week we are going to catch up on those 3 episodes. And but you know, it was the holiday weekend, so you know, we doing what we can do. But we will be catching up those. That is on We TV, so make sure you check them out Friday nights at 9:30 Central Time or Eastern Time, 10 Central. Also, make sure that you're catching Married to Medicine on Sunday nights at 9 on Bravo, as well as Real Housewives of Potomac at 8 o'clock on Sundays at Bravo as well. Are you going live tonight?
Yes, I am. I'm going live tonight, probably around 8:30.
Okay, make sure you join Auntie Diva over on her channel at 8:30 for trending topics tonight. Girl, it's been a lot going on. Before we go, it's been a lot going on in these streets, honey, between TD Jakes and Diddy not getting out of jail and just all of this stuff. I'm like, we going to hell in a handbasket in 2024, okay?
Woo, child. Woo, child. Listen.
Trump gonna be the president next year. I don't know what's about to happen.
Now, listen, TD Jakes, all I can say is he another one. We got him on a sick and shut a prayer list.
Yes.
And that's it, and that's all. We got him on the prayer list.
Yes.
That's it, and that's all. We got him on the prayer list.
Well, we appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Like we said, hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification bell on all. Join Diva in about an hour and a half at 8:30 for trending topics. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And then come back tomorrow night for Housewives of Potomac. We will be here to recap the 2 latest episodes of Housewives of Potomac. Bye.
Bye. And Emmanuel, I did not see Beverly Hills yet because I'm pretty much over Beverly Hills. But see you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.